Hi, welcome back to the Bruce channel, week number 2. Not only am I Bruce, I am also glad. I'm very glad that you're here. In last week's inaugural edition, I described some of what I imagined this would be, and I'm not going to repeat the entire litany. But I will say again that there will be different components, and not all of them will make it to each edition. Sometimes I'll be serious, other times whimsical, but I'll always try to leave you with something to think about, or maybe to smile about, or maybe both. That would be good. Your participation is welcome, so write with comments, suggestions, even questions. You can write me at thebrucechannel@yahoo.com. That's thebrucechannel@yahoo.com. The channel itself, as you have likely discovered, is a YouTube channel. It lives on YouTube. But if you wanted to navigate to the channel, instead of watching it through Facebook or doing a Google search or even going to YouTube and doing a search, there's a very easy way to find it, which would be particularly handy if you're telling a friend, hey, you should go see the Bruce channel. The easiest description is not a long URL, but instead tinyurl.com/Bruce channel. That's it. tinyurl.com/Bruce channel. And yeah, you can put in the www if you think you have to, but most browsers don't need to do that. While you're at the YouTube site, I would hope you become a subscriber. If you're subscribed, you get an email when a new edition goes up, but that's it. Nobody gets spammed. And finally, if you have a Facebook page, I hope you'll point this out to your friends, liking and sharing. All right, leftover from last week, I described my displeasure with the local newspaper's decision to charge a $2 premium for the Thanksgiving edition. That because, in the publisher's own words, it's the biggest newspaper of the year. And, of course, it is that because of all the extra advertising. And I think it's wrong to charge me for advertising. Well, I promised to let you know the outcome, and I did guess correctly. Publisher Jeff Gauger did not return my call. So I called the subscription department, argued my case for a personal waiver. The employee I spoke to was understanding, also said he couldn't waive the charge, so I went on vacation that day. I canceled it, and I don't think I missed anything. I read the news online. But even something so simple couldn't go without a blip, because I didn't get a paper on Friday either. So I called and tried to take care of that the way the robot lady suggested. You know, if I push this, if this, press number 2, if that, press number 1. After about 4 levels of that, and entering my phone number, robot lady said, well, a real person will be required, please hold. Yeah, the hold turned out to be about 7 minutes. That's ironic because during the 7 minutes I was repeatedly told how important my call was. Apparently my time, not so much. The young man I got that time was pleasant enough. He asked if I wanted the paper. I told him no. It was too late in the day. Just credit the account and send a paper tomorrow. Okay, except I got a Friday paper sometime that afternoon. Nothing's ever as smooth as it could be, is it? All right. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, let me tell you about my book, Shrink. For most of my adult life, I weighed a little over 100 pounds, not much more than in this picture taken when I was about 17 and considering becoming a jockey. But as is often true, once I crossed into my 40s, extra weight came, and it stayed. For years, I tried to lose, instead gained, and ended up 153 pounds. And I'm embarrassed to show you this video. Then I learned that it isn't about calories and exercise, but instead it's about what you eat. You might say, sure, ice cream makes you fat. But there were surprises, things like orange juice not being such a wise choice if you're trying to lose weight. So I just made some basic changes to what I ate, not how much, and the weight just fell off. Now, nearly 3 years later, it is still off. And don't misunderstand, I'm eating foods I like, not bamboo shoots. Friends ask me how I did it so often, I put it in a book. It's available as an ebook for all platforms, and the print edition is available at barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. Hey, you can shrink too.
Welcome back. All right, I'm not going to rant about the stores opening on Thursday. I did that last week. And to be sure, while I picked on Walmart because they are the biggest, they had plenty of company. So I won't rant about it again. I'll merely say this. Stores that open before 12 a.m. Friday morning will one day bring about the end of civilization. All right, as far as Black Friday itself and all of that shopping, I will not go near it. I still don't understand it. I can't for the life of me understand what the appeal is. and why we think the way to open the season of goodwill and glad tidings is best demonstrated by getting the last thingy off the shelf before your neighbor might spot it. I did notice something weird on Friday. Some Facebook friends had liked a Macy's ad, so naturally they're liking it, brought it up on my news feed. Now this was Friday afternoon. So here's the ad, and we are alerted that the doors will open at 7 a.m. for their Black Friday sale. All I can say is, while I think opening on Thursday is damnable, I don't know if waiting till Saturday is such a good plan either. Okay, in addition to family, friends, turkey, and even snow in some places, there was plenty of football. Now, if you had a vested interest, a rooting interest in any of the games, I hope that your team won. The national anthem was sung at all of them, but I want to talk about the performance by 12-year-old Quantavious Johnson before the Detroit game. 2 raves and a rant. Number 1, the kid can really sing. He's terrific. He hit the notes beautifully. He stayed on pitch. He displayed great voice control, and he's only 12. Rave number 2, he dressed up. I mean, he really dressed up in a tux. I love it. Look, once upon a time, performers dressed up. Why? I'm going to say we because I sometimes perform. We dress up because we are honored that you are watching, taking the time to listen. It is a compliment. And consequently, we dress up to let you know that we're honored and that we respect and appreciate you, the audience. I may not always wear a tie here, but I will never dress as though I had too many last night, don't remember where I left my clothes, and slept it off in the park. So his appearance was really terrific. I appreciated it, and I hope that it is an augury of things to come, that one day performers will again get spiffied up. All right. But what I hated about his performance, and I want you to know I'm not blaming him. This has been trending for years, and at 12 he wouldn't know this. But the anthem is not a funeral dirge. It's inspiring, it's uplifting, and it is properly performed at 104 beats per minute. I'm not kidding, that's actually codified. 104 beats per minute, which is about this. Until near the end, when it slows down 8 beats a minute to 96, the chorus, "Oh, say does that," that's when it slows down. That's codified too. And that's still way faster than the pitiful way it's so frequently done today. Further, the code states it is inappropriate to make concert versions of the national anthem. Anyway, I'm not dissing the kid. He was terrific. And I am in favor of artistic interpretation. If there were no artistic interpretation, we could all just get a CD of, say, Vladimir Ashkenazy performing Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody on a theme by Paganini, which is A, one of my favorite pieces, and B, my favorite interpretation. But we don't do that because there is more than one way to perform anything, whether it's music or a stage presentation. If I see the same music by the same musician or the same actors, each performance remains unique. But there are limits. And, oh, say, can you? That crosses the line. It egregiously crosses the line. All right, last week I mentioned that when I'd fall in love, I'd write her a song. I introduced you to a song I'd written called Given Half a Chance, and the response was very gratifying. I appreciate it. And I say that even though I haven't yet heard from Bruno Mars. Anyway, a couple of quick points. Music will, more often than not, be included on this show. But notwithstanding last week and today, it won't always be music I've written. Point number 2, I did say last week that writing for lovers was often fruitless, but not always. So the story on this one is not a big backstory. It's pretty clear, I think. Her name was Jessica. We fell in love, and that's the grandest feeling in the world.
Jessica, and the fog has left my mind. I feel a breath of spring. Like the early morning sun, I try to fill the sky. Like the day that's just begun, I feel alive. Jessica, now I'm whole inside and never knew what love could be. What I was before I'm not and never want to be. All I ever did before was just survive. There's got to be a piece of heaven, a place on earth to see our dreams, a place that no one else can enter with their schemes, a place that we can spend forever and no one else would dare. Take my hand and we'll find it. I promise we'll get there. Dreams get old, they lose their passion. The edges stop to fray, but sometimes dreams can re-emerge, and sometimes love can stay. Jessica, what you are to me I can't describe in words alone, but I think you understand it, we're not made of stone. And I think sometimes the words get in the way. There's got to be a piece of heaven, a place on earth to see our dreams, a place that no one else can enter with their schemes, a place that we can spend forever and no one else would dare. Take my hand and we'll find it. I promise we'll get there. Take my hand and we'll find it. Jessica, I promise we'll get there.
I hope you liked it. Keep it in mind when you run into Bruno at the grocery store. And that's going to do it for this week. Write with your comments, suggestions. Write to the Bruce Channel at yahoo.com. Subscribe, spread the word. And as always, may your upcoming week be the best one ever.